Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where we take a look at various different theological issues from an atheist skeptical perspective. And today we're going to be doing something a little different than usual. We're not going to be examining a creationist claim or reading the Bible, the Quran, or the Book of Mormon, but we're going to be taking a look at this. This. So, this is a letter. I don't really know what I should call it. I'm gonna call it a conversion letter because it's an attempt to convert someone, but through a letter. I'm just gonna call it a conversion letter. I don't know what else to call it. So it's 12 pages long, and I didn't actually get it. It wasn't directed to me. It was directed to a friend of mine, and he showed me it, and he wasn't really interested in it. But as you probably already guessed, I was. So I took it home. I basically, first thing I did was accidentally separate it from the rest of the thing. And I then proceeded to examine the claims, listed the claims down, wrote down individual points to refute the claims, and I basically screwed up the entire paper. Look at this, I tore it like everywhere. There's like something. Yeah, there's like tears all over the place. I really screwed up this thing. Over here too. For that. Yeah, so I destroyed the book. That's probably gonna happen to the rest of the pages I haven't read yet. So yeah, there's 12 pages, and I've only read one. So there's a lot more reading to do. And yeah, it's gonna be epic. And yeah, so in this video, I'm gonna be examining the first page, and you know, it's gonna be epic. And yeah, and I'm just gonna warn you though, so some of the grammar in here, there's some grammatical errors that's kind of messed up in here, so don't mind me taking long pauses every once in a while, because that's probably just me attempting to decipher what the hell a sentence is saying. So yeah, I guess that's all that needs to be said. That's all the important stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. It's gonna be a to all the knowledgeable non-Muslims. Well, I guess that's me. Also to irresponsible Muslims, and I guess that's not me. From a student of comparative religion. Yeah, okay, that's cool, but yeah, okay. When people are driven to hell. Okay, wait a sec. Wait, stop right there. Okay, my guy, chill out. A bit of advice, next time you attempt to convert somebody, I recommend you don't start off by fucking saying, yo, if you don't believe me, you're going to be roasted like a goddamn pig for all fucking eternity. Like, dude, the fuck. Chill out. I'll tell you what. Next time you try to convert someone, I recommend using what I call the Christian method. Now, the Christian method is where you essentially practically ignore literally almost every fucking thing in your holy book. Like, literally almost everything. Like, ignore at least 70% of it when attempting to convert someone. Like, ignore all the rape, murder, immorality, plunder, oppression, homophobia, sexism, and shit like that. And you're all set. Like, let's say in the case of the Bible, for example, if you're attempting to convert someone to Christianity, do not, and I mean do not start off by telling them that Christians are commanded to stone their rebellious and or stubborn kids to death in accordance with the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse 20, because that's fucked up. Like, my guy, if you tell your kid to head to bed and they ask you for another 5 minutes, don't fucking kill them with rocks, because that's fucked up. Like my guy. But this is biblical morality we're talking about here, so honestly, it's not surprising. Anyway, what you should do instead, though, is fucking cherry pick the absolute living, breathing fuck out of the very, 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 very little minority of good teachings within the Bible. Such as, love thy neighbor as thyself, which, by the way, I really don't recommend doing if your neighbor's a serial killer or something. But, yeah. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is don't start off your attempt at converting someone by telling them that they're going to be burned alive for not believing your bullshit. But instead, chill out with that until they get a bit more fucking comfortable with your crap, and then you're all good. They will cry, had we but listened or used our intelligence, we would not have come to this blazing fire. Well, this is a classic, Quran chapter 67 verse 10. But, okay, unknown truths. Sounds interesting, I guess. And some information to enlighten. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole fucking point. So, like, get on with it already. Enlighten me. And to make people realize their future hidden dangers. The fuck is that supposed to mean? What exactly are these so-called fucking quote-unquote future hidden dangers? Like, dude, I need context. Give me some fucking foundations and shit. Like, dude, you don't just say, hey, look over there. Like, give me context. The fuck am I supposed to be looking at? Before death, every person must question why I came to this world. I mean, it's not really a must to question why you came into this world, because, like, there's literally people who just don't give a fuck. But I guess I get what you're saying, and, well, I already know how I came into this world. Why I came into this world. It's basic fucking biology. So, long story short, when two individuals who love each other very, very much, I think you get where I'm going with this, so I'm not gonna go any further. Who created me? Dude, your parents literally did. Why am I created? Because your parents decided to bang. That's pretty much it. Why am I living? Dude, you've repetitively been asking the same question like 4 times already in different variations. Like, stop. Who should I worship? Legitimately no one. Who is God? A figment of your imagination. The meaning of a religion. A mass cultural delusion. Why are there so many religions in the world? Because human beings evidently have very vivid imaginations. Which one will benefit me? Legitimately none of them. Literally every religion I've come across is violent as fuck. Well, except for when you cherry pick, then it's okay, and religions like Buddhism and Jainism are pretty neat too, I guess. What will happen to me after death? Well, the most probable occurrence after your death will be that you'd be slowly but surely eaten up bit by little tiny creatures, and you'd proceed to gradually decay. And you will be put to use by the earth for its sustenance or whatever the fuck else it does with a dead body. Is a religion I follow acceptable to God? Is a religion you follow acceptable to a non-existent figment of your imagination? Well, yeah, I guess. And find the answers. The answers to what, though? And how do you know these answers you have are really the answers? Just because some ancient-ass book told you so? Many people are living because they are just born. What kind of a question is that? Like exactly, that's literally why I'm living. I was born. Like, I'm born, so I'm living because I'm born. Like, dude, the statement you're making is the equivalent of you drink water just because you're thirsty. Like, that's literally exactly why I drink water. Because I'm fucking thirsty. Why else would you drink water or eat food? And unaware why they came to this world. Excuse you? Did you just assume that I'm unaware of why I came into this world? Well, jokes aside though, my guy, this is like the 5th time you've posed this exact same question, but just with a different wording and crap. And but I actually am aware of why I came into this world, and the reason is, in short, because your parents screwed. That's it. That's literally it. That's why you exist, and that's why I exist as well. That's why everyone exists. Pretty much it. They eat but they feel hungry. Who the hell wrote this? Like, dude, that's why we eat. Exactly. That's literally why I eat. The reasoning behind eating is fucking hunger. Like, dude, I drink water because I'm thirsty. There's no other reason to do those things. Food and other needs are not available free, so they do some work. A random statement, but okay. They blindly follow their parents' religion, which they offer without checking whether it is a true or false one. Actually, yes, I agree with this point you're making. It indeed is incredibly stupid to believe in some religious idea or whatever the fuck else, simply because your parents raised you to believe it. It's actually one of the very few things we agree on. So, yeah, that's epic. Or it will benefit them later on or not. It won't. Trust me, it really won't. You may be a Buddhist because you were born in a Buddhist family. Yeah, okay. If you were born in a Christian family, you'd be Christian now. Okay. The same is the case with Hindus, Jews, Christians, Muslims, etc. Yeah, dude, you've made your point. I get it. You're trying to say that fucking believing in shit just because your parents raised you to believe that shit is a terrible reason to believe shit. I get it. I agree. I understand. Now stop restating the same statement over and over again. Get on with it. A religion which will benefit us the most should be chosen after careful study. Yep, I agree with that as well. Comparing it with other religions. The fuck? No, not at all. Comparing literally every religion, like ever, will be a humongous waste of time. And anyway, comparing religions isn't going to get you anywhere. Because it doesn't matter which religion benefits you or whatever, because that won't affect the truth value of that religion or religious belief or whatever the fuck else. What you really need to do is evaluate the evidence we have and make deductions based off that evidence. Because now, this is where the very popular quote by Carl Sagan, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, really comes into play. Now let's say someone makes a claim. Something as simple as, oh look, there's a fucking lizard in my garage. You wouldn't need to go out seeking evidence because that isn't an extraordinary claim. There can be a lizard in your garage. It's normal occurrence. But if someone were to assert that a fucking Komodo dragon is in their garage, then Pixar didn't happen. Like straight up. But if you were to go one step further, you were to go so far as to assert that there was a full-on little fucking invisible dragon in your garage, then that would truly be a full-on, full-fledged fucking extraordinary-ass claim. And that needs evidence, which goes beyond Pitts. It requires extraordinary evidence. But if they cannot fill in their burden of proof by giving you the required evidence, then you may dismiss their claims in accordance with the wonderful philosophical razor called Hitchens' razor, which was presented by the absolute legend Christopher Hitchens, that what can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. It should not just be blindly inherited from the parents. Yes, dude, I get it. I agree. Stop repeating yourself. Move on to a different topic. Your parents remain as Buddhists because the message of Islam would not have come to them as it comes to you now to think and find the truth. I don't really get what you're implying by this, but I'm assuming the implication here, I'm assuming the implication here is that people remain non-Muslims only as long as they don't hear about the message of Islam and all that shit. But, well, that isn't really necessarily true if that's what you were asserting. I mean, I received the message of Islam. I've read the Quran. I'm not convinced. So, no, it is possible for people to receive the message of Islam and dismiss it as fiction. People say that if they die only, all their problems will end. I mean, technically, yeah. Your problems do end when you die. Like, I mean, that's not a reason for you to die. Like, don't kill yourself for that very reason, but I mean, technically, that statement is correct. You die, your problems end. I don't get why they're rejecting that. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna move on. So you must take time to read these papers with patience. Oh wait, I read the wrong thing. Crap. But the truth is that all the everlasting problems will begin after death. And how exactly do you know this? How exactly do you know? How do you know that our quote-unquote everlasting problems will begin after death? Because some ancient book told you? Or do you actually have facts and evidence to support your case? And if you don't have facts and evidence to support your case, the truth is simply your truth. There's a big difference there. So you must take time to read these papers with patience till the end. Yep, okay, I guess I'll do that. 4 times at least, 2 pages at a time. The fuck? No, hell no. I'm not going to read this 4 fucking times. Like, dude, I'm just gonna read this crap once. Like, there's 12 pages. Okay, once and that's it. I'm out of here. So you can realize your future problems. Okay, still haven't really elaborated on those future problems, but yeah, okay. After death, if we become dust and disappear, then we can live any way as our mind desires by following a religion or not. Yep, this is a classic move, which I pretty much expect from religious people at this point. So, I believe the assertion you're making here is that if God doesn't exist and there's absolutely no afterlife, there's no purpose for us, then there's absolutely no point in living anymore. Since we have no value, no purpose, no meaning, there's absolutely no point in living and attempting to be a moral person. The thing is, this is far from the truth. Morality isn't derived from what some random God tells us is moral, but our moral values are derived by the reasons behind this morality. And by weighing up the pros and cons of certain actions and thereby deeming them moral or immoral accordingly. For example, let's take murder. Why is murder wrong? Well, we don't deem murder immoral simply because some God told us it's wrong. No, the reason is actually far from that. The reason murder is morally wrong is due to the reasons behind the murder and due to the consequences of that murder. A murder may feel good, but we can really just empathize or sympathize, I don't know which word to use there, with the other person, and we can understand the fear which we may feel whilst in their shoes. And if you kill the other person, you're in trouble because you can be arrested. And so you'd be afraid to go along with the act due to the consequences which could occur due to it as well. And so if the only reason you are a moral person and you don't rape 2-year-old children is because some book told you to be moral, and without a belief in this book, you'd commit such acts, well then, you aren't fucking moral, my guy. Time can be passed anyhow in this world. Yes, you can pass your time any way you'd like, as long as you aren't hurting anyone and the reasons and consequences which occur due to your actions are justified. But the truth is different. Correction, your truth, unless you can prove otherwise, that's all it's ever going to be. The dangerous consequences we will face will be later. What, when, why, how? How do you know that? Because some old book told you, or is there actual reasoning behind it? Do you have facts and evidence to support this idea? Can you demonstrate that this is in fact true with rational and logical thinking? Until you can demonstrate that this is true, this is simply just another baseless assertion backed up by absolutely no evidence. And so what can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. If we live anyway because after our death, one day God is going to destroy this world. Oh my non-existent Christ, Allah sounds like a dick. Make it into a different shape. What? Why though? Why does Allah feel the need to warp the shape of the earth? Like, the fuck? That's random as hell, actually. I mean, Allah already beautifully invented a flat earth in accordance with Quran chapter 2 verse 22, chapter 15 verse 19, chapter 20 verse 53, chapter 43 verse 10, chapter 50 verse 7, chapter 51 verse 48, chapter 71 verse 19, chapter 78 verse 67, chapter 88 verse 20, chapter 91 verse 6, and many others. So why does Allah feel the monstrous urge to destroy his supposed magnificent creation? Like, the fuck, my guy, that's such a dick move. And he is going to resurrect all the dead mankind from their graves. The fuck? The Walking Dead in real life? Damn, Allah isn't that much of a boring old dick after all. Anyway, jokes aside though, the fact that people genuinely believe this shit, that people are gonna supposedly rise up from their graves on Judgment Day, which just further proves how much religious indoctrination poisons your mind, completely eradicating every sense of logic and reason. God will question us how we lived in this world. Okay, but then again, it just begs the question, how the fuck do you know that? What we worship. I mean, what if we didn't fucking worship anything? the fuck's gonna happen to us then? And will punish us in hell with fire. Yeah, I get the fucking message, my guy. Stop repeating yourself. I think you've made the point that your loving and merciful God will torture us and straight up boil us alive. Absolutely clear. Or he will send us to paradise. Depending on how we lived in this world. Well, paradise supposedly has 72 virgins in it, so yeah, that isn't that much of a bad idea. So it is important to choose the right religion which will benefit us in this world and the next. Okay, but then again, how do you know there's a next in there? You can't just assert things like that. You gotta prove the assertions. And also the one acceptable to God. Yeah, I kind of made the point before. I don't really think your imaginary friend is really gonna care. So go ahead. After reading reliable scriptures. Yes, scripture, reliable scripture, memorized and written by an illiterate peasant. Very reliable indeed. And asking many questions. Yeah, no. If you want to keep any form of belief in deities, I recommend you try not to ask questions and do any research, without only believing what your religious leaders teach. Yep, you've made this point like a fuck ton of times, and I agree. Now stop repetitively repeating. Like, dude, stop. Also, by keeping aside your support and love for the religion you follow, or that love will blind you from seeing the truth, to save yourself from going to hellfire. Once again, it's not the truth, it's simply your truth. Big difference. If you want it to evolve into the truth, then you have to demonstrate that it's true, with facts and evidence, as I said before, and not by faith and belief. Prophet Muhammad said that every child is born as a Muslim in its innate religion, Islam. No, not at all. Kids aren't just born believing in Allah. It's either their Muslim parents or a later conversion which makes them believe in Allah. I mean, honestly, if you really think about it, all babies are literally born atheists. Literally, because babies don't believe in any gods. It's the parents or a later conversion which convinces them of the God's existence. It is their parents, elders, teachers who turn them to Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, idol, fire, sun, worshipper, etc. Yep, and also, who in the fuck in this day and age worships fire? This is the biggest mistake parents do by forcing their children. Agreed. If the child is just left, it will worship its creator and choose Islam as its way of life. Not really. I mean, sure, in some cases, kids raised without any religious influence by their parents or whoever the fuck else do indeed convert to Islam. But not all of them do. I mean, there's lots of people who are raised without any religious influence and who die without a religious belief. And many people, well, actually the majority of people who do indeed convert to some religion after being raised non-religious, mostly become Christian, actually, and only a slight minority do indeed become Muslims. So, no, if a kid is left without any religious influence, the chances of them becoming Muslim is possible, but unlikely. For example, the Aborigines of Australia had no contact with modern civilization till late 1950. Okay, so my knowledge when it comes to certain historical events and shit fucking sucks, and I'm way too lazy to go look this shit up, but I'm just gonna take your word for it and assume this is true, because I don't really have any other choice now, do I? When checked, they were praying like Muslims. I'm really not that sure about the validity of this claim either, and I couldn't find any videos of them praying on the internet, but that aside, I'm highly skeptical as to whether they all prayed like Muslims, because according to what I know, all of them have various different deities and religious practices, so it's very unlikely that literally all of them prayed like Muslims. But a few, yeah, sure, probably, had the belief that God is only one. Well, that isn't really true, but it doesn't really prove anything either, because monotheism, which is the belief in one God, is a pretty fucking popular belief system. Even though it's a new concept, also, not all the Aborigines of Australia were monotheists. Because, as I said before, there were many different religious beliefs and practices amongst them. But the majority are polytheistic, though, which is the belief and worship of multiple gods. Because they believe there is a creator, but also many other spirits that control the world. He has no mouth, etc. Yeah, exactly. He has no mouth, no hands, no feet, no body. Full on invisible fuck, who most probably lives outside of space and time. Wherever the fuck that is. But that doesn't really prove anything, because this belief is way more popular than you may think. That's why if a person enters Islam, we say revert, not convert. Well, you're wrong, evidently, because everyone is born as a Muslim. No, not true. Everyone is quite literally, as I demonstrated before, definitionally born an atheist. It is the external influences which change them to non-Muslims. No, not really. It's the external influences which quite literally turn you into non-atheists. The Arabic word Islam means one, peace, two, peace acquired by submitting, surrendering our will to the will of God. A random statement, but okay. I.e., do what God commands and give up what He forbids. Yes, exactly. Obey all of Allah's holy and everlasting laws, such as chopping off the hands of thieves in accordance with chapter 5, verse 38 of the Quran, which technically applies to the poor, lonely, homeless people stealing little samples of bread just to stay alive, and give up what Allah forbids, such as, if you're gay, give up your gayness somehow, even though it's kind of ingrained in you and it's quite literally a part of who you are, and is also literally unchangeable. Because if not, you're gonna get punished in accordance with chapter 4, verse 16 of the Quran. Only obedience to God's laws will give us a peace of mind and a peaceful life, not money or anything else. No, it will not. In fact, I'm highly certain that killing the non-Muslims in accordance with the command from Allah in chapter 2, verse 191 in the Quran will not give us peace. And if killing the non-believers is Allah's envisionment of peace, then He is, simply put, a sadistic fuck. And no redundant excuse on the level of cultural context will ever be able to justify it. We neither wished nor made ourselves and came into this world. Yeah, that's exactly how it works. We literally neither wished nor made ourselves and came into this world. In fact, it was actually the wish and desire of our parents to bring us into this world. Well, unless you were an accident, of course, and they technically didn't wish for us specifically, because they were just expecting some random-ass kid. But still, I think I'm getting off track. My point is, okay, question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't get what you're trying to prove by saying we didn't willingly come into existence. But yeah, okay. Quran says that male only keeps his sperm in woman's body. Well, unless you're a gay male, because then the sperm's just gonna grow up some dude's ass, but okay. Sperm contains no humans. Technically they do though, since it eventually gradually develops into a human being and all that, but okay. It is God who made us in our mother's womb, gave eyes, ears, heart, brain, hands, fingers, tongue, life, etc. No, not at all. It was actually evidently evolution by means of natural selection which did all this, followed up by evidence in the fossil record, biogeography, comparative anatomy, comparative embryology, and molecular biology. And God had absolutely nothing to do with it. Imagine our life without fingers, eyes, which we did not ask God. Correction, you made a mistake. You said, which we did not ask God. But no, we didn't ask God. He didn't even do it anyway either. So technically speaking, the correct version of the statement you made would be, imagine our life without fingers and eyes, which we did not ask evolution by means of natural selection. And it is God who has sent us to this world as He wished, to be born in a Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, or Tamil family, as a female or male, etc., for a test to check whether we live obeying God's laws in our life or not. First off, no, it isn't God who sent us into this world, technically speaking. It was literally our parents. And also, the fact that Allah would deliberately make people disbelieve in Him for this so-called test, which isn't even really a test if Allah had already decided who would be saved and who would not be saved beforehand, and lead them straight into eternal torture, simply for the fun of it, or whatever other reason there is pretty fucked up. This is the purpose of God creating us. Whoa! That's just an assertion, my guy. You can't just keep popping in assumptions like that, spitting it out without facts or evidence. Especially this deformed ass version of your presupposed purpose of life, which is a really fucking stupid ass purpose if it's simply just to follow Allah's laws. Like, dude, if I see a homeless dude stealing a baguette, I straight up wouldn't give a fuck, because he needs to eat. Like, god damn. I don't expect anyone to just fucking pop in and cut his hand off, and people thinking of that as a good thing. So I may as well disobey Allah's corrupt ass laws. If we are born as humans, oh wait, I messed up. If we are born as humans, there are God's laws about how we must live on earth. Correction. You simply believe that there are some kind of God-given laws bestowed upon us. Not that it's established fact. There are two types of life. Ah, sweet baby fucking Jesus. I think I know where this is going. One is we can live any way we want, like animals, as our mind desires. Another way of life is living as God wants us to live by obeying His advice, His laws in our life. Yup, I fucking knew it. This is such a cliche. Anyway, I'm just going to paraphrase H.L. Mencken on this by saying that morality is doing what is right no matter what you're told, but religion is doing what you're told no matter what is right. And the various laws given out in the Quran, such as Quran chapter 2, verse 191 to 193, which commands the killings of others when persecuted, and also commands that the fighting must persist until religion is for Allah, is a perfect example of doing what you are told no matter what is right. And so, in all honesty, following the tribal and animalistic laws like these in the Quran makes you no different from a wild animal. Obedience to the laws of God is known as Islam in Arabic. Well, not just the obedience to any God, but specifically the Quranic God. But okay, anyone who believes in a God and obeys his laws, wish and will in his life, is known as a Muslim. No, anyone who believes in a God isn't a Muslim. A Christian isn't a Muslim. A Mormon isn't a Muslim. A Jehovah's Witness isn't a Muslim. A Jewish person isn't a Muslim. Hindus aren't Muslims, but rather Muslims by definition are followers of the Quranic God. And the Arabic word for God is Allah. Okay, but non-Muslims misunderstand Islam as Muslims' religion. Yeah, no. I think I understand pretty well that Islam is a religion dedicated specifically to the Quranic God, aka the God of Muslims. So yeah, it is technically by definition the religion of Muslims. If anyone enters Islam, it means he is obeying his creator. Well, what you believe to be his creator, but okay. But we should and should not speak, see, eat, drink, or dress, or whatever we do. Every action should be according to God's laws and as Prophet lived and showed. There are laws whom we should and should not worship, dress, do halal business, but foods we're allowed and not allowed to eat and drink, etc. A complete life should be as Allah commands us and as a test. Yeah, no, I disagree with the absolutely retarded notion that we should follow all these laws and crap, which, if we're being honest, is most probably the babblings of some dumbass ancient people, and accept them as fact, and just waste our infinite lives away worshipping this work of fiction without confirmation or definitive proof for its existence. Can we rob a bank or kill someone and tell the judge that I don't know these are violations of laws? Similarly, we can't violate all the laws of God, live anyhow, and tell him that we don't know his law. Well, technically, yeah, if they were raised in a sort of closed-up community and they entered the developed world for the first time, then how the fuck are they supposed to know what is and what isn't against the goddamn law? Likewise, how the fuck would someone automatically know that they should fight and slay the non-believers in accordance with Quran chapter 9 verse 5, chapter 9 verse 29, and chapter 9 verse 73, and kill Muslims who oppress other Muslims in accordance with Quran chapter 49 verse 9, and strike the necks and subdue the non-believers in accordance with Quran chapter 74 verse 4, and other such fucked up laws. We must learn and obey his laws. Yeah, no, I really don't think following the laws of the Quran will be healthy for you in any way, shape, or form. How we must live are found in all the religious scriptures. Yeah, exactly. Because cave dwellers literally had nothing better to do with their meaningless ass lives. Religion means belief in a god and obedience to his laws. Also a way of life with laws, how we must live in this world with do's and don'ts. No, you can't just define religion like that. Because the definition of a religion is a controversial and complicated subject in religious studies, with scholars failing to agree on any one definition. So you can't just butt in and say, yo, this is the definition. Because there is no one definition. There is no separate God for Muslims and non Muslims. Everyone looks the same. God the Creator is one for all. Not true. There have been thousands of magical anthropomorphic immortal gods, evidently imagined out of nothing by some random uneducated, unsophisticated, retarded, scientifically illiterate, and in the case of Islam, literally illiterate, goat herding peasants who were living in an era of savage primitives who didn't understand anything about the natural world around them. And all these gods vary a lot with different backgrounds, different stories, different appearances, different creation stories, different everythings. And so, no, the Quranic God is the Quranic God, and it definitely isn't any other God. After the arrival of the last batch of people, Allah will destroy this world by earthquake and will resurrect all dead mankind simultaneously. This is called the Day of Resurrection or Judgment. Oh yeah, Zombie Day. Yeah, no, I'm not really looking forward to that, like, at all. So thankfully, Judgment Day is just fiction. Am I right? This world will be like a criminal court. The fuck? A criminal court with, what, 7.5 billion people? How many people are there? And how many people are there in total? That's gonna be a big ass court. Allah, the judge, would question us whom we worship. Well, I technically worshipped Yahweh for a while since I was Christian and all that, but yeah, okay. And how we lived in this world. I think I lived in this world pretty okay, so I think I'm all good. If we had worshipped only Him, the true God, and lived obeying His laws, He would send us to another world called Paradise to live happily forever. The place with 72 virgins? Yeah, okay. But anyway, virgins aside, you've made a lot of claims in this little section alone. How the fuck do you justify yourself making these assertions over and over again and adding to them without the evidence? Like, dude, if we had lived anyhow disobeying God's laws, He would send us to another world called hell for punishment with fire forever. Look, my guy, I'm really sorry for not following Allah's laws and all that, but look, I'm just not immoral and sadistic and fucked up enough like Allah to kill non-believers and chop off the hands of starving homeless people in need of food. But that aside, punishing people with eternal, unending, infinite, painful, and excruciating torture for finite sins is the most fucked up and immoral thing any being could possibly do. And any being who demands praise and worship in exchange for eternal life and burns and roasts you alive for not receiving it is a God who is truly the most unworthy of praise and worship. Wherever we go, no more death will come to us. But then again, I'd have to ask, how in the fuck do you know that? Also, we will never be allowed to come to this world to correct our mistakes. Therefore, we must choose the right religion from reliable scripture, acceptable to God, to save us from hellfire. Look, let me tell you something. I know this is going to come out as kind of a shock to you, but hear me out. Literally no set of sacred scriptures written thousands of years ago is reliable at all. Like at all. But all are wasting their valuable times always in TV. Yup, I do that. Movies. And I do that as well. Video games. And I especially do that. Cricket. Nah, cricket sucks ass. I don't play cricket because it's cringe. Dancing. Dancing is cringe as well. I don't do that. Songs. Yeah, I kind of obsessively listen to songs even when I'm taking a shit or in the shower or something. So I kind of failed that as well. Mobile phones, etc. Well, I'm not too sure about the etc. part of that, but yeah, I obsessively do that as well. All the old prophets preached Islam, obedience to the Creator. I don't care, but okay. Unfortunately, the old past messages are lost and are in a changed state now. Okay. If the parents are not in the right religion, children above 18 years also will go to hellfire since all blindly follow their parents' religion. Whoa, all people kind of blindly follow their parents' religion? Isn't that generalizing a bit too much? I mean, I'm a perfect example of someone who didn't do that. Allah's purpose of giving us a temporary life in this world is to decide to choose a permanent life after death in paradise or in hell by obeying or disobeying Allah. You do realize that since your statements are still unsubstantiated, they literally mean nothing, right? Disobedience to God's laws and the final prophet's teachings are sins. Still doesn't mean anything. Obedience to both of them are good deeds. Okay, all our good and bad deeds are being recorded and will be shown to us on the day of resurrection. Damn! All of it? Well, I didn't know Allah was that much of a fucking stalker, but okay. Our good deeds should overweigh all our wait, what? I messed up. Our good deeds should overweigh our sins to enter paradise. The fuck kind of dumbass rule is that? Who invented that concept? All the non-Muslims are unaware of the everlasting punishment waiting for them after resurrection. My guy, how many times do I need to explain that these kinds of assertions okay, wait, I messed up on this spot too, future me, edit this spot out, god damn it. All the non-Muslims are unaware of the everlasting punishment waiting for them after resurrection. My guy, how many times do I need to explain that these kinds of assertions mean literally nothing unless demonstrated and proven to be true? Because evidence is key, and without it, whatever you say is completely and utterly meaningless. Anyways, that wraps that up. We're finally done with page 1 of the conversion papers. How long has it been? Like, it's been a really long time, right? I don't even know anymore. Anyway, that was fun. Yeah, we got to read a page. Took almost an hour, but yeah. Anyways, there's not much else to say except for like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell, all the shit. I dropped my earphone. God fucking damn it. There we go. Okay. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll upload another video next time, which will be next week probably. So yeah, see you then. Forgot the outro. Fuck, it's been a while, okay? Anyways, peace out. I will now go hibernate and prepare for the next video. And edit this as well. Goodbye.